The Spiral Abyss. Genshin's earliest endgame, besides picking mint, and a great way to test if you've pulled the latest featured characters. In the current rotation, it's quite apparent that Nodcry's lunar reactions are still in business, and luckily I do have most of the characters needed to pull them off. I do want to note that this video is not a guide or anything, it's just my Abyss clear with some commentary. What is up, Shark Bites? My name is Sharkilly, and this is my January Spiral Abyss. But before we get to any endgame, I'd like to introduce you to today's sponsor, Buff. There are a lot of amazing characters coming out this patch, and if you're anything like me, you may not have enough Primo Gems to cover them all. That's where Buff comes in. Buff is a safe and easy to use website where you can top up in Genshin Impact and many other games for a cheaper price. Right now, Buff is offering amazing discounts on their 60 Genesis Crystals and Welcome Moon packs. Simply click my link in the description and pinned comment below, or scan the QR code currently on screen. Then choose the pack you want to buy, input your UID and select your server, and you're all set. Delivery is almost instant. Don't miss out on the latest and greatest characters. By using my link or scanning the QR code currently on screen, you not only get great discounts, but you also support the channel. Thank you so much to Buff for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so to start things off, I did get 36 stars last time, which means... Okay, wait, what is this? Oh, it likes lunar reactions. Okay, which means we did get the rewards already for floors 9 and 10, so we will be starting off with floor 11. For the second half, it looks like it likes Flynn's. I might be wrong though. So I'm gonna bring Flynn's, Ineffa, Aino, and Sucrose. And then for the first half, I think I'm just gonna bring Nuvolette Freeze. For floor 11, I chose the energy recharge given to me. I honestly wasn't too worried about it because I usually clear this floor with a lot of time left. It always felt significantly easier to me than floor 12. As you can see, I already finished with the first half and moved on to the next. I started off by using Ineffa, but I feel like I probably should have used Aino first in my rotations now that I'm reflecting on it. I then swapped to my Sucrose, who is on the Thrilling Tales 3-star weapons. In almost no time at all, we already finished the first chamber. On the next chamber, I chose the attack card. I then went through my rotation as usual, but I was a bit worried about my Furina's energy. To be honest, she really only has enough energy to cover double Hydro minimum. I'd like to put her on an energy stance, but unfortunately, I only have one and it's literally being used on a Escoffier. Despite that, we still succeeded pretty easily. On the second half, I went through my rotation the same as usual. It was pretty simple because the enemy had innate Hydro applied to it. With that out of the way, we were ready to continue to floor 12. So for floor 12, it's looking like it is Nodcry shilling again. Okay, so I think Flynn's will definitely be really good on the second half. It's definitely a Flynn's half. And for first half, I think I can just run a Lauma team. Or at least that's what it looks like. So we'll put Lauma. My Nahida isn't built, but I think I can use Nilou and Kokomi. Maybe it would still be okay to run Nahida because of her burst. I do have her talents leveled. I also considered that the Dendro resonance provided by Nahida and Lauma would be useful. With that in mind, I started the challenge. The first enemy was the Perpetual Mechanical Array. This boss is a bit annoying with its stalling mechanic, but I wasn't too worried about it. I realized my Kokomi was not on the right set. Normally, I have a Flower of Paradise Lost set for this team, but my Kokomi was using her normal clamp set. I just hoped that it would still be enough to get me through the abyss with full stars. I finally got the array down to a point where I could take down its smaller form. I found the one it wanted me to target, then defeated it with Kokomi's ultimate. Shortly after that, I was able to finish the boss off completely. With a bit of confidence after the timing on the first half, I moved on to the next. I was not prepared for just how little I would struggle on this half, but to be fair, I was running a pretty decent Flens team. Without ineffa especially, I am able to imagine how this half would become significantly more challenging. I did start to wonder how much faster this could be with Columbina, though. I've heard a lot about the strength of Columbina and ineffa being in the same team. In almost no time at all, I took the Lightkeeper's HP down, so it was time to go through his second phase and make sure he couldn't restore too much of it. Thankfully, this was no trouble at all for my friends, who took it down very quickly. With that done and dusted, I was able to continue with my first 3 stars. You might notice at this point that my Bloom team's rotation is basically non-existent. I kind of just use everyone's abilities when they're off cooldown. I still make an effort to time things so that things like skills and buffs are not wasted, but other than that, my gameplay is pretty disorganized. It hasn't caused any problems for me yet, though. I don't have too much to say for this half, but I did find the Wayobs a little annoying. Their shields can be a bit of a hassle to break, depending on your team composition. Luckily, I did have a couple of Hydra units on my team, so it wasn't the worst thing in the world. Of course, though, there was not only 1, but 2 of these, so I basically had to go through the whole process twice. Nevertheless, I still made good time and was able to move on to the next chamber with little to no stress in the end. Next up was the Pippopin Idol, sorry if I mispronounced that, which is another enemy that folds pretty easily to taser compositions. To be perfectly honest with you, this was my first time ever fighting this boss. I didn't try it in any previous Abyss, and I also have been slacking on my local legends. I did see other people defeat it though, so I had a slight understanding of the mechanics. I do think I messed up the hat part though, but it wasn't to an extent that I felt particularly delayed. Once the shield was taken down, the enemy lost a good chunk of its HP, and I was able to quickly defeat it, thus gaining another 3 stars in the Spiral Abyss. For the first half of the final chamber, I was put up against a couple of elite enemies again. I was kind of surprised again by how fast I was able to clear it, considering the fact that a majority of my team is outdated. It really goes to show just how powerful Loma can be. Or maybe this was just a forgiving abyss. I'm really not sure. I did think a bit about the timing I would have if I pulled for Nefer. I did try to get her, but after going so far into pity, I decided to stop pulling and save for a character I would want more. It's unfortunate, but I'm sure she will rerun soon. At some point, my llama almost died, but thankfully, Kokomi saved the day with her healing. In addition to that, she also ended up finishing the half, and we moved on to the next. For the final boss fight, we were put up against Knuckle Duckle, a recent boss from Nod Cry that also, surprise surprise, favors taser teams. I went through the rotation as usual, but you may have noticed that I accidentally pressed Flint's skill before swapping to ineffa. Thankfully, it didn't affect things too much, and by the time I got back to Flynn's, his skill was almost on cooldown. I was able to take Knuckle Duckle's minions down, but of course, the boss itself moved far away and I was not able to use my reactions anymore. I started my rotation over again while praying that Knuckle Duckle would not start throwing its fist across the arena anymore, seeing as that would put it beyond my Hydra application. Despite this, I forgot to use Ino's burst and ended up being the boss anyways. With that, I was able to officially 36 star the Spiral Abyss. Okay, so now what I want to do is go through everyone that I used this Abyss and show you their builds, just so you know what I was using. For Flynn's, I have him at level 90. These are his stats. And his weapon is a level 70 Staff of the Scarlet Sands. I just have not gotten around to leveling it yet. His artifacts are, of course, Night of the Sky's Unveiling. I'll just click through these really quickly so that you can see what I used. Okay, his talents are 198. I know I could definitely still improve that a little bit. And he is C1, so just do bear that in mind. I do have his first constellation, and that will affect my clear time. Next up, we have Ineffa. This is what she is looking like. She is on a level 80 Missive Wind Spear. I could level this, we will see. Artifacts are 2-piece. I have not gotten the new set for her yet, but do keep up with my content by subscribing because I will be farming the new set for her, and you can see that in my upcoming video, which is technically for Columbina, but yeah, we're gonna be getting Ineffa a new build too, probably. She is C0, and talents are 110-9. My Aino is a bit more invested than what most people do, and that is just because I like her. So she is level 80. These are her stats. She has a lot of energy recharge. She is on a level 70 Favonia's Greatsword. I just haven't felt like leveling it is a priority yet. She is on Silken Moon Serenade, just random artifacts that I didn't level some of them. And she is C2. I know people say she's really good at C6, or at least the best she can be, but I am still having a good time with her at C2. And her talents are 166. I did not really need to level these. If you know, it's not really worth it, but I like her, so I went ahead and gave her a little bit more investment. Next up, we do have Sucrose. My Sucrose is kind of a work in progress. As you can see, her energy recharge is pretty bad, and her elemental mastery could also use some work. She is on a Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers because I like to give attack to my next DPS. Her artifacts are not leveled, so this is why her elemental mastery is low, but I am just gonna click through these for you. She's C6, has been for a long time. And talents are 4-10-9, but of course this is affected by her constellations, so yeah, we could level them a bit more right now, but I think I will save my resources until I really want to do that. This is our next team. I will go through their builds as well. My Llama could use some work for sure. This is her build. I do think she could use some more crit stats, but on the bright side, she has a good chunk of ER. She's on the event weapon, that is really good for her. And these are her artifacts, which I did steal from Nahida. So that's why my Nahida wasn't built. I still needed to get Llama her own set. She is C0, and talents are 2, 8, and 9. I might crown her at some point, but we will see. I am once again going to remind you that Nahida was robbed, and so her build is very questionable. She does have her signature weapon at least, and that is level 90. Yeah, literally missing artifacts. I told you, it's pretty bad, but she's C0 and talents are 6-8. Kokomi is my pride and joy, and if you are not aware, I am a Kokomi main and have been since her debut. And I will always be a Kokomi main. There is absolutely nothing you can do about it. But she has a lot of HP, a lot of ER. She is top 1% on Akasha, so I'm not too stressed about her build, but like I said, we were supposed to use Flower of Paradise Lost, and we just ended up not doing that. I did pull for Kokomi's signature weapon. I know people tell you not to do this, and I mean, I agree, it's technically not really worth it, but it is worth it for me because I love her and she deserves it. I will click through her artifacts so that you can see them. There is still a little bit of work that I can do on these, but for the most part, I would say this build is almost perfect. Constellation 2, I got a constellation from the free event, but I also pulled for her, so that's why that's like that. And of course, as my #1 main, she is triple crowned. Last up, we have Nilu, who is level 90. I will show you her stats. Her HP is kind of low because she doesn't have her signature weapon, but also I feel like my rolls could be better. She is on the 4-star at rank 5. These are her artifacts. She is on 2-piece HP. I think that is what you're supposed to do for her. I am kind of glad though we got some elemental mastery rolls. I know it's still useful for her. She's Constellation 0. Maybe I'll get a free constellation for her someday from the event though. And talents are 1-1-1. I just think it's so funny that you can leave her talents like this, so that's why I did it. I would normally level them just because I like her, but I just feel like it's kind of a meme, so I haven't. But that will be it for today's video, Shark Bites. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please do consider liking and subscribing, as it does help out the channel quite a bit. If you are looking to hang out with the Shark Bites community and interact with me more too, perhaps, I do have a Discord server linked in the description, as well as you can catch me live sometimes. I do double stream on YouTube and Twitch, so do subscribe on here if you are interested, but also consider following me on Twitch if you prefer that. Thank you so much to my channel supporters whose names are currently on screen. You guys are awesome. If you'd like to support me in that way as well and redeem special perks, my Ko-fi is linked in the description. And with that, I don't have much else to say. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!